This is a demo of Data API Builder's new request caching for stored procedures. We've had this for tables, but now we've added it for stored procedures. So I have a stored procedure here that will simulate a long-running procedure. In this case, it's 5 seconds. And we're going to start by going into the configuration file and ensuring that cache is turned off for Data API Builder so that we can see what the behavior would be like and the experience would be like when there is no caching. So the first thing we'll do is go ahead and start it. We're using the new Visual Studio Code extension here to make it easy for developers to interact with the configuration file and to go ahead and start that configuration file. So we're going to use a load balancing tool. That load balancing tool allows us to set up concurrent threads for, in this case, 20 threads for 20 seconds. We'll go ahead and run that. And when we do, we'll just kind of monitor and watch what happens for these 20 seconds. We'll let it go ahead and warm up. And now you can see, because of the output of the logs there on the left, it's starting to work. Now this is important because every time we call this stored procedure, that thread has to wait for 5 seconds. And we can run this query to see just how many executions against this query have occurred and how many times it's tried to be called, each one, of course, taking 5 seconds. And now that we're at the end of the test, it's around 105 times that stored procedure has been called, or 109, I guess. Now let's return to our load balancing tool and see its report. It tells us from an AI capacity point of view, it's 4 requests per second. And from a user experience point of view, it's 82 successes overall, even though it was called 109 times. Let's compare that then if we add a single second of cache through Data API Builder. All right, it's the same process before. We've just switched our false to true. And now that it's going to be running, we're going to set it to the same set of concurrency. That's 20 threads for 20 seconds. And we're going to monitor to see just how many times that stored procedure is called. So it's been called 1 time. All right, so now in about 5 seconds, it's going to be called for the second time. Now it's not growing at such large numbers because every time it's called, it's cached, and it's cached for a single second. And so multiplying that against all the different concurrent operations against it, by the time we get to the end of this test, we'll be at 4 total executions. Potentially 5, right? But it's 4 this time. Now let's look at the load balance report again. Now API capacity has jumped to 262 requests per second. And now we see more than 4,000, almost 5,000 successful operations, even though we've only called the database 4 times. Compare that to the previous results of only 4 requests per second and only 82 successes. Caching in Data API Builder allows developers to make their databases look bigger than they really are, all for free.